presenter. Okay. I see your screen.
Okay, so there. Okay. All right. So you want me to start over and go over Merle's deals real quick, and then jump?
Yeah,
into mine?
yeah, and you've officially. I mean, you already explained what it does. You just maybe pull up his GUI, show me a couple of the GUIs that will reflect what we'll be doing for you.
Okay. So just, I guess, so we have it on recording here. So this is Merle's original Excel file.
Got it.
And we've got different input tabs and different calculators that go along with it based on what we're inputting there.
Got it.
And I don't know if this is a GUI or that's just a term I picked up.
No, that's correct.
Okay. And so with his, again, much more robust than anything I'm looking for, but we've got the same client input tab here, and based on information you put into the different tabs with these guys, then it will filter on out.
Are there any print buttons that are needed for this?
He's got print worksheets right here.
Where is it? I think my thing is blocking the screen. Let me move it down a little bit. Import illustrations, save, recalculate, zero player values. Move your cursor slow. Oh, there it is. There it is. I'm sorry. There you go. I see it.
Right there.
Got it.
This would be, the IUL one. Here's that graph I was showing you before.
Okay.
Look when it actually comes in. And a bunch of different calculators based on, but everything is still Excel based from the previous version there.
Got it.
All right. So I close this down, and let me open up one of mine. And now it's up there. Okay, so the yellow cells are the input cells.
Mm-hmm.
So here's a hypothetical returns of a hypothetical market account, and these can all be changed to whatever is desired. Put in somebody's age here. You can change the amount invested.
Does it hold the value can you and Merle stay and put Bob Smith and then be able to go back to all the inputs you did for Bob Smith?
With his, yeah, you can build a client database that is set up in there.
And for yours?
Mine, I don't know how much more involved that would get. That's not something that I really need it or want at this point, because as you'll see, this is very simple. This is just a very easy presentation to show somebody as we're going through here. So it would just be a kind of a point of sale type of a application.
All right.
It's just basically saying, so here's somebody who comes to me and they've got $200,000 in an IRA, and I look over their account and it shows they're paying 1.5% fee. So I asked Mr. and Mrs. Client, what are you trying to do in this account? Are you trying to play the game, meaning are you trying to play the stock market game and just try and beat everybody else, or are you just trying to end up with more money for you and your family? And usually they'll say, well, I'd like to have more money for me and my family. So, okay, well, here's, and I went through the flow of this. Well, we've got your starting value is there. Here's how the account does in year one. Goes down 5%. They still deduct whatever fee we put in here, and so there's our ending value. And then we earn 5%, comes up to that, subtract the fee, and that's where we end up. So that's the flow as far as in the market account.
All right.
And then I'm comparing that with an annuity. One of the ones that we look at, this particular one, is has a 3.25% cap on the upside. So this is the same exact market as we're looking at here, but with a zero floor and a 3.25% cap. So you'll notice the numbers are never less than zero, never more than 3.25. We got the same starting value, $200,000. Now this account also has a fee, and this fee is 1%, but you get two main things for that fee. The first thing you get is you get a 10% upfront bonus on the money you put in the contract. So your initial $200,000 becomes $220,000 day one. So your $220,000. So we come down here the first year, we get a 0% rate of return. Stays at $220,000. You take out the fee. So now we're at $217,800, and then we earn 3.25. Comes up, take out the fee, and there we are. Okay. So we want to look at, first, let's just look at it based on an accumulation. How are we doing? So in year 5, in the annuity, we got $230,000. Write that down, Mr. Client. In the market account, we got $204,000. Okay, so we got about $25,000 more in the annuity. Okay. Let's see, in year 10, so we've got about $241 sitting in the annuity, and we've got about $235 sitting in the market account. Okay, maybe about $4,000 extra. Okay, and it's just the same 10-year market again. We can change this, but it doesn't really matter. Now, I told you, Mr. Klein, you get two different things with this account. You get the first of that 10% bonus, but the second thing is you get the opportunity to draw income from this account for the rest of your life, regardless of whether there's any cash left in this account. And what they do is they add on a secondary ancillary account, which determines how much they will pay you for the rest of your life. And the other thing that 1% fee gets is as long as your money is sitting there and growing before you draw it out, this income figure, this income value is going to grow by 7% per year, guaranteed. And what happens is, based on your age and the value that's in that account, will determine how much the insurance company will pay you for the rest of your life. So, Ms. Client, this is your IRA, so we're going to have to start taking money out of here when you turn 7.5. You recognize that, okay? So the way this works is that this income value would be $308,561 in that year when you turn 70. Mm-hmm. And based on that age, you'd be able to pull out 5.5% of that value, which would be $16,970. And you're going to be able to do that for the rest of your life. So $16,970, so let's remember that number. Let's come up here to the market account and put in $16,970. And, oh, geez, okay. So what this is showing you is that if we do this in this account, this number here, we're going to be out of money sometime, when you're about 83, okay? And what that's going to give you is that's going to give you a total withdrawal. It actually isn't, I don't think it's going to be quite that much because we're going to run out here, so that actually needs to be I-24. I haven't figured out a way to do that calculation, so it stops whenever this gets to be negative, but that would be what I would eventually want it to do automatically. So you're going to be able to pull out a total of $237,580 out of this account. So the other, however, with this annuity account, what this is your cash account. So you can see that when we withdraw money out of here, that reduces the amount that would go to your beneficiaries. But we're not annuitizing the contract, so whatever cash is left in here will go out to your beneficiary. And in this account, what this will allow us to do is they are contractually obligated to continue paying you this money for the rest of your life. And, based on your life expectancy, 95 is right about where we're at. So you'll be able to pull out a total of $441,220. Okay? Mm-hmm. So it's going to make a difference of maybe around about $200,000 over your lifetime for you and your family. So, Ms. Klein, I mean, if I don't know, if you don't see the value in what I'm showing you here, I must have said something wrong. So, what questions do you have?
No, I understand that. It had on the
So what I would like is a software version of this so that I can control who gets access to the calculator and the mechanisms doing that. I'd like to have a choice of different products that are out there, so the agent just goes and picks. So I want the American Equity Bonus Gold 7% income rider, which is what you're looking at here, or I want the Allianz 360 Option 2 income rider, and they put that down, and it'll change the caps, the fee, and the bonus. Go through that type of thing.
Right.
And make it to where they can print off the worksheets. So if they want to keep it in the file, they can do that. But to begin with, I don't want to keep any sort of any database or pull up different clients. It's just that what I just went through. That's basically the presentation when somebody's looking at what they want to do with their money. That's it. Boom. So we'll compare a couple of different ones. I'll bench test them. Just throwing them up here, see which one you want, and then away we go. So I just want to be able to provide a nice, simple tool to my guys to be able to compare how these index annuities would actually perform compared to a market-based account.
Got it. Okay. Can you email me your the Excel sheet?
Yeah, with the calculations and formulas and stuff.
Yep, yep. We may have to do one more go-to-meeting if my programmer has a lot more questions than I anticipated for this, and if this is something that we're comfortable doing, then I'm sure he's going to, because he always does.
Right.
He's just not available today, or normally would have had him on this meeting. Just real quick too, there was never mind. I don't even have to mention that. We'll just I'm going to show this to him. And now you just mentioned about being able to plug in the additional products. Now, that would mean that you would be able to, you'd have some sort of administrator login where you could actually go into the software and plug in these different things. I just don't know if we can do that with the executable, because like with Merle's, that's all hard coded, correct? You guys can't go in as an admin and.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay.
So it would.
You'd have, if you had 3 products, it sounds to me you're going to have 3 executables.
Oh, well, see, I would want it in one executable, so that maybe up top here there's another field here that says product.
Oh, okay, and then you select the drop down.
And this is the drop down box. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And then that'll change whatever these are in these fields here in the actual annuity product. That's more of what I was thinking there. But I would want, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I would want, obviously, backdoor access, so I can go in as products and different things change. I can adjust and have my guys, or I can have my personal office go in and make sure everything is still up to date. And the other thing, one thing that Merle's doesn't have that I was hoping I could get done if it's again possible, to have a better control over making sure that guys would have updated numbers and everything would be on here, or if they end up leaving the team or going somewhere else, would be to have the executable file that they download onto their hard drive every 15 or 20 or 30 days or some number. It would go out to the web, to that source, to check to see if there's any updates.
Right.
And then come back, update it if it's needed. And if I go into the back office and I turn off their access, then it disables the file on their computer.
Okay. Okay. That means the executable's got to make some sort of web connection, or there would be, because I don't think Merle's has that capability, does it?
No, it doesn't. So with his, because that's one thing that, with his, you can download that file, go work for somebody else, and you still have that on your laptop. You won't get the updates, obviously, but you still have the basic form, the basic function. So I'd like mine to be a little bit more protected. And I've got another program from MoneyTracks called Circle of Wealth that is set up that way, so that it downloads to your hard drive, so you can use the file without having an internet connection.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like I said, every 15, 20, 30 days, it'll go out and it'll search out the wherever the source host file is, and either update with the new numbers, or again, if didn't renew or however it's set up, then it's basically it's disabled and you can't use it anymore.
Yeah, that's a little bit like cloud-based software.